We have to talk about TV shows.
Yes. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Content.
2 shows that are super nostalgic for me that I finished watching recently. Fresh Prince, or Bel-Air, the reboot, and Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
So let's talk about Fresh Prince first.
Let's do it.
You seen it?
I did.
How you feel about it?
It was so good. Like, I'm ready for season 2.
Same.
It was so good.
Same.
So good.
Listen, it was completely unexpected.
Yeah.
It's so different from the original.
They did such a great job at like touching on so many different points and conversations, but not in a pandering or a, you know, sometimes shows do that.
Yep.
And it's just like, oh, they do it in just, it was just so authentic and organic, the way they would talk about certain conversations and stuff and certain topics, like, you know, talking about mental health and drugs.
Even talking about when Ashley kind of came out about being gay.
Yes.
Like talking about things like that. Something that I really loved was Hillary.
Yeah.
She's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, because she was an influencer.
Right? So let's talk about her and this content house that she was a part of.
Yes,
oh,
that was crazy.
So I guess we should have said this at first. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it.
Yeah, definitely. Last week we spoke about content houses. And so to see Hillary actually in a content house, that was funny.
Yeah.
And it was like, is this how they really are? Like, are they on you like that?
So that's what made me actually look up content houses.
Okay.
Is that I saw that she was in one and I was like, is this a real thing? Because even though I'm an influencer, I'm out of touch with that side of it. And so that's how I found Hype House. And, you know, I think they probably really are like that. Like, I think that it is, you live in these houses, you have to post. Not you can post, you have to post 24/7. And there was a part or an episode, or maybe it was a few episodes, where she was dealing with, she had created a sexy video and it went viral and it did way better than her regular videos. And her management was like, oh, you need to do more of this. Yep. And it brought up a really interesting question. Like, what are you willing to do for internet fame and followers? Are you willing to be a little sexier, show a little bit more skin? Or even the prank guys, I wonder, like, do y'all really want to be doing these pranks? Or are you doing this because you know that it's going to bring followers?
Yeah, they're doing it just for that. And that has to be exhausting. Like we said, like chasing these trends, that's how creator burnout happens. So I'm sure it's just as bad when you're chasing virality all the time. And so it brings up like your principles and your morals and your integrity. It's like, what does it cost to be internet famous?
Yep, that's the part. And I mean,
would you be in a content house?
Fuck no. I don't even want a roommate. How would I live with other people?
You know what? First of all, you know what content houses remind me of? Influencer trips.
Yes. And we talked about that last season, how you and I both do not like that shit.
Oh my God. It's like overload. I'm sensory overload. It's just like as somebody who's a highly sensitive person, I can feel the pressure. Like, first of all, I have my own pressure to create content, but then I can feel your energy because you got pressure to create content. And we're all scrambling, trying to get the best angle, best shot at the best light. And it's just like, that's not how you create. That's not how I create. No. Most of us are introverts.
Yep. A lot of creatives are. No, that's
and then you put us on a trip where it's like, you got to post 3 times a day and da-da-da-da. She's like, no thanks. I knew after like my 3rd influencer trip, I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. I'll just pay my own way. That's... There are some influencer trips I've been on though that give you like flexibility and it's just like, do what you need. I was just like, oh, like when I went to All-Star Weekend, that was technically an influencer trip, but it was just like, you know, do what you want to do, post when you want to post, you know, do this, do that. It was just a lot more freedom. And that's how it is. Like, you don't want things that are contrived. You want things that are organic and natural. Yep. As a brand, for sure.
And the audience can feel that. You know what I mean? Our audience can feel like, oh, you was forced to post because you don't normally post this much.
Right.
This don't even look right because it's not right. I didn't have time.
Yeah.
So, Stranger Things. Have you watched it?
I clocked out like mid-season 2.
Okay. So we won't talk about Stranger Things, the show, but what we will talk about is Refinery 29 just came out with an article. I think it was yesterday I read. Are we having nostalgia overload with the reboot of Sex and the City, Fresh Prince reboot, Stranger Things, so much nostalgia in there from the music to the games that they're playing. all of these songs, all the artists coming out now are remixing and sampling songs from when we were kids. The Y2K fashion, is it too much?
Why we just can't enjoy things? I love nostalgia.
Okay.
I like living in the past, girl, because this future is daunting. And so I can see that as a coping mechanism, like living in the past because we don't know about the future. And because of COVID kind of stopped things and all that kind of stuff. So when it comes to fashion trends have always come back. I don't know how I feel about the fashion. I think that's the only thing I'm like,
girl,
because it's like Y2K head to
was
toe.
Tacky.
It was very, very tacky.
Y2K
and so the girls that are
it.
doing it now, it's giving very much head to toe. And it's just like, no, that's not how you do trends. That's not how you reimagine things. You do it in a modern way. You pick things here and there, and you like even your hat right now, like truckers. That's very Von Dutch. You know, and so remember Ed Hardy?
Yes.
I used to. So the only thing for me with when Y2K, I was in high school, I couldn't afford none of that. So it's like for me, I would go get the Von Dutch hat because I've always wanted one and I couldn't afford it in high school. I would go get that Ed
bag,
Hardy shirt.
the bowling bag. Same.
I would get all of that. Matter of fact, I had a Juicy Couture bag. It was fake. It was the bowling bag, and I loved that.
Was it velour?
It wasn't velour. Okay. It was like leather. And it was fake, and so I may go get the real one.
You know what? I'm actually with that because there was a pink and green velour juicy bag that I used to want, and that Von Dutch bowling bag for sure.
Yeah. Or even like the I love like the heart shades, like Cartier, how they used to have the heart in the. I might get things like that, like nostalgic pieces, from that era that, like I said, I couldn't afford, or might have the knockoff back then.
Those are timeless too, though. Like. I feel like you can carry that bag. You can wear a trucker hat whenever, wherever. Yep. So yeah, I don't know. I like the nostalgia too. It makes me feel like I'm in high school again in a way. Like, I remember this. I feel comfortable with this and in this. It's
like you said, familiar. It's just like that makes you feel good. And so when we think about creating content, we love the way you get in touch with your audience is you make them feel something. And a big part of how I create is nostalgic. I'm always tapping back into my inspirations growing up, living in New York, high school era, hip hop.
Yeah.
And so those things make you feel good. And so I love the nostalgia of it. I love the Y2K. I just want the girls to just do a little bit better with putting the looks together.
Facts.
That's
Agreed.
it. And then I'm seeing this whole diesel reemergence. These ain't diesel. These is the Diesel. Okay, hold it best. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about that. The pieces are cute, but I'm just like, there's certain brands that I just won't wear.
Yeah. No, fact. Yep.
It's cute for you, but I don't know. And so back to what you were saying about designer stuff, and you don't know if that fits within what you want to do. I feel like there's just so much pressure to fit into what people think you are, or who you think you are. And it's just like, for me, when it comes to like sustainability is like I always talk about as a pillar of mine, but I still allow myself to enjoy things. And so maybe it's buying secondhand designer, and that's what I normally do. Like this sweater is from the Real,
which is cute.
It's Tom Brown.
Listen, I love the Real.
And so that's
the Real is great.
Yeah, the Real is amazing.
I don't know how to say
Vestiaire.
Yeah, I always fuck the name up.
Vestiaire. I think that's how you pronounce it. I work with him, so hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Remember Clubhouse? Remember how much I loved Clubhouse?
Girl, I hated Clubhouse from jump. When the last time you been on Clubhouse? Because you was riding hard for Clubhouse.
I was riding hard. Like, it was definitely a pandemic ride, because nothing was open.
It was a fling.
It was very much giving. It's very much giving fling. Very much giving one night stand. It's very much giving somebody the Pizza Hut number, not your own number. Wait,
so what happened? You just fell off,
girl. I don't remember the last time I opened that app. They had all these change. Like, so it got to the point where it's just like, I don't want to hear niggas talking. I don't want to hear niggas' opinion. It's bad enough we have Twitter, but now we have the audio version of Twitter when you're getting bombarded with other people's opinions on topics, and it's just like, this is too much.
Yeah,
sensory overload, and so then you don't know what's a real thought or a fake thought. I always try to make sure that I'm coming back to self and asking myself, is this an original thought, or did you get this from someplace else? And so Clubhouse is a perfect place for extroverts. It's a perfect place for people that love to talk, people that monopolize conversations. It's a perfect place for people that have something to say when there's nothing to say. And that's just not me. Like, when you're a creator on multiple platforms, you have to figure out what platforms work for you.
Exactly.
And Clubhouse was just not it for me. I'm a visual person. There's no visual aspect to Clubhouse whatsoever. And so it just wasn't for me. But I know some people audibly, like podcasters, you know, people in radio and media and TV and things like that, it might work for them. But my type of creation is visual.
Yeah. Same.
I'd rather do things with no words. Like, I hate when a brand is just like, can you put a voiceover over it? No.
I do too. I don't want to talk. Can you look at the camera and talk? Why? Nah.
That's so not organic. It's not natural. Like, if I want to, sure. I don't like being required to.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain things where you have to get real with the camera. But no, I'd rather let the visuals speak for it. And maybe put some words on the screen.
Agreed. 1,000%. I fucking hated Clubhouse from the moment you told me about it. I think we did 2 houses or 2
But they were good.
And they were good. I loved them. It's just, I don't like listening to other people talk.
Yeah.
But I will say that Clubhouse is a really good example of get in and get out. Like, they came at the perfect time. Mm-hmm. People needed reconnection with other humans. We needed to be able to do it safely and from a distance. I think Clubhouse fulfilled the need that it was meant to, and, you know, whatever. It's done.
Yeah. Speaking of social media apps like Clubhouse, there are several new apps that are coming about because apparently social media is a toxic place. Did you know that?
What? News to me.
And so there's a lot of new social platforms coming up with methods or ways in which we can engage without followers and likes and things of that nature.
Like what? Like how?
It's like so picture like close friends.
That's what I was gonna say.
Close friends feature.
I kind of like that.
Yeah,
I like that because
too.
I use my close friends instead of like texting an announcement or something. I'll just put it in my close friends. Like, here, all 20 of y'all see it. So I think that I like that. It's just, are people willing to jump on board another app? Black Planet. Did you have followers? Did we have followers on Black Planet, or it was just friends? I don't remember. Because you could upload your thoughts. You could have music. Like,
I don't know.
I don't remember.
MySpace, you had friends, though.
You definitely have friends on MySpace.
And your top 8.
And yes.
Bring that back.
But if you could, like...
the drama that started.
Girl, why I'm not in your... I thought we was best friends. I think that if you could do it in a way where people could share their creativity without the popularity contest, I think I'd be down for that. Like, if I could just go and find some dope shit and not have to worry about the vanity metrics, yeah.
Because they said, like, social media is overrun with influencers trying to sell us stuff. And I was just like, shade.
It is. But it's overrun with everybody wanting to be an influencer now. Yeah. That's the problem.
Then who's influencing?
Yo.
Who's doing it?
Everybody and nobody. What's that?
Nostalgia. There were softer days before.
I don't want to talk about soft days. I really don't like the soft life trend.
I don't like how we have to put a name on everything. Like, that's the thing.
That was just vacation last year. I'm just taking vacation.
Black women in luxury, like a soft life. What else we got out here?
Healing girl summer, healed girl summer. Not hot girl, healed girl summer on TikTok.
Yo, everything needs a name these days.
It does.
That's crazy. And that speaks to the trends and how we were saying everything is so short.
Yep. And
it's just like, but you're going to put a name on it and it's not even going to be here next week.
And then that raises the question, are you still going to do it next week?
Probably
if you're living a soft life right now because it's trendy, but then next month something else becomes a trend, are you no longer living this soft life anymore?
No. Because, no, like this episode is about building a community. And what I've noticed is there's so many niche communities.
Yes.
And so that's what's happening. People are finding these niche communities and turning that into a trend. Like if we talk about clean talks, people cleaning their home, that's a very, very niche community. It's always been there. But people are starting to discover it. And so now everybody's cleaning their house. Everybody's doing refrigerator organization. Everybody's doing these things because, and just like with fashion, just like with wellness, these are very, very niche communities. And you know, once one gets it and then everybody starts doing it, that's when it becomes broad and we put a name on it.
I never thought about it like that. And you know, I wonder how the OGs of the cleaning talk feel, because I'm serious. Like sometimes you start something and it takes off and it becomes bigger than the thing that you started. And as a creative, it's like, oh, I love to see that this took off, but also give me my like I started this shit. So I kind of wonder what the cleaning talk people feel.
Just like with fragrance, you know, what's her name? Fredia, black girl fragrance. What was the girl's name? Black Girls Smell Good. Maybe a year ago started, you know, well, she's always posted fragrance content, but it started to go viral. Then everybody started posting fragrance content. Do we see fragrance content anymore?
No. It's clean. They all cleaning now. They all cleaning now.
Now they smell like bleach.
Oh, I'm done with Kia today.
See, it's just like...
You're right. Yeah.
We talk about niche because niche is important. We talk about lifestyle because, yes, lifestyle is important. Like, fragrance does incorporate your lifestyle. But it's just like, what's a part of you? Like, your niche is very much a part of you. And so it can be one thing. It can be 5 things.
Yeah.
But when everybody is doing everything, it becomes like, what is really true to you? Yeah. And so we see with these micro trends happening and who's hopping on it. And then nobody's talking about it now.
Yep.
And so that's just the way the internet works now, you know?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Hear or watch us anywhere and everywhere you get your podcasts. But hold up. Sit back down. We're not done with you. Hit that subscribe button now so you won't miss a minute or even a second of what we have in store for you.
For now, this is Kontent Queens,
where content
is clean.